This is Greenland and this is Africa. On this map, both of these look roughly the same size. Maybe Africa looks a little bigger, but not by much. If you grew up seeing maps like this, then this map probably feels normal to you. But here is the truth. Africa is 14 times larger than Greenland. 14 times. That's not a small mistake. That's a catastrophic distortion of reality. And what's even more surprising is that this distorted map is the one most of us saw every single day in school. It hung on classroom walls, it appeared in textbooks, it showed up in movies, news graphics, and documentaries. Over time, it quietly rewired how we picture the planet. This map is called the Mercator projection, and it's probably the most famous world map ever made. On it, Greenland looks enormous, Russia looks almost endless, Canada and Alaska feel massive and dominant. Africa, meanwhile, looks normal, almost modest. But when you correct for distortion, everything changes. The entire United States fits inside Africa. So does China. You could squeeze most of Europe into Africa too, and still have room left over. Africa isn't just big, it's overwhelmingly massive. Greenland, which looks like a giant on the Mercator map, is actually closer in size to the Democratic Republic of Congo. That's one country inside Africa, just one. Alaska, another map giant, is actually smaller than Libya. So the question is obvious. If this map is so wrong, why is it everywhere? Why did we all grow up with it? Why do so many people still think this is what Earth looks like? The answer starts in the year 1569. The Mercator projection was created by a Flemish cartographer named Gerardus Mercator. And here's the key thing most people don't know. He never designed this map to teach geography. He designed it for navigation. Back in the 1500s, sailors didn't need accurate land sizes. They needed directions. If you were crossing the ocean, you needed a map where you could draw a straight line and follow the same compass direction the entire way. The Mercator projection does that perfectly. Any straight line on the map represents a constant bearing. For navigation, it's brilliant, but to make that work, there's a trade-off. The farther you move away from the equator, the more land gets stretched. Near the poles, the distortion becomes extreme. Greenland and Antarctica balloon in size. Countries near the equator stay relatively accurate, while everything north and south gets warped. Mercator knew this. He understood the distortion. He never intended this map to be used as a classroom wall poster. It was a tool for sailors, not a picture of reality. So how did it become the default way the world sees itself? Part of the answer is history. The Mercator map rose to prominence during the age of European exploration and empire building. On this map, Europe looks large, powerful, and central. Britain, which is actually smaller than the state of Oregon, appears big and imposing. Scandinavia looks enormous. Africa, despite being vastly larger, appears compact and manageable. Was this deliberate propaganda? Probably not at first, but once this version of the world became standard, it stuck, and it quietly reinforced a distorted mental hierarchy of countries and continents. Another reason is familiarity. Once people grow up with a certain image, anything else feels wrong. Equal area maps look strange at first. Oval maps feel incorrect simply because they're unfamiliar. The Mercator map became normal, and normal became truth. And then there's practicality. The Mercator map is a neat rectangle. It's easy to print, easy to frame, easy to fit into books and screens. Many alternative projections are ovals, interrupted shapes, or complex layouts that don't fit as cleanly. But here is the problem. We don't navigate with paper maps anymore. We use GPS satellites, real-time digital navigation. The original reason for the Mercator projection no longer applies to everyday life, yet its distorted image still shapes how billions of people visualize the planet. And that matters, because maps are not neutral. They don't just show the world, they shape how we think about it. There are better options. Some projections, like the Gaulle-Peters, prioritize accurate area. On these maps, Africa looks huge, because in reality it is. The trade-off is that shapes get stretched, especially near the equator. Others, like the Robinson projection, aim for balance. Nothing is perfectly accurate, but nothing is wildly distorted either. This is why National Geographic used it for decades. More recently, the Winkle triple projection became the standard for National Geographic. It minimizes distortion of size, shape, and distance all at once. It's not perfect, but it's far more honest. There is no perfect flat map of a spherical planet. Something always has to give. The key question is what you're willing to distort. If you're going to hang a world map on your wall, it shouldn't quietly lie to you. It should show you the planet as it actually is, not as a 16th century navigation tool needed it to be. Because when you spend your whole life looking at a map where Africa looks small, where Europe looks oversized, where distances feel compressed or exaggerated, it changes how you understand the world. It affects how you think about global power, population, resources, and even news headlines. Greenland is not the size of Africa, not even close. And maybe it's time we all started looking at maps that tell the truth, rather than repeating a distortion we inherited without ever questioning it.